Well, here's another video for you of me doing the same thing throughout the entire video. Don't worry, I don't change angles at all, so it's a constant vision of a stone and a blade. It doesn't get much better than this, people. It does not get much better than this. It's nothing quite like a blade becoming live. This blade had I'm going to use a technical term here, a wobble, about 5 inches down from the kisaki. It got thick, so in other words, it didn't cut worth a damn. So I've been working on taking out that wobble, but still keeping the right lines, and I've been able to do so. So now I'm working on the final stages of polishing. So I started off with a 200 grit, which is pretty coarse, and it scars the blade. But as long as you're scarring the blades in the same direction all times, and you're keeping the right pressure, it's easy to bring that scarring away, or take that scarring away, by moving to this one at an 800 grit. Now I'm working back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So all my scratch lines, because I am technically scratching the blade, are going the same direction. So when I switch to the next grit, I'm going to switch my angle. So the longer I polish it, I will polish away the straight lines, and I'll know when I've gotten to the next stage of the 1000 grit, because there'll be no longer back and forth lines. Now here, this video's roughly 5 minutes, 41 seconds, and however many milliseconds. Yet this day I sharpened for 7 hours before taking the blade outside and testing it. I'm like a deer. I hear something, I stop. For those that you are interested, my father had fun. For those of you not interested, well, too late. You already found out what happened. So here I'm wrapping the blade. Beforehand, I wasn't actually holding a rag and the blade because it just wasn't sharp enough to really worry about. After doing the 800, it was sharp enough to start worrying about. So you want to wrap it tightly, and you still don't want to let your hand move. So now I'm going back and forth. I'm using the end of the actual stone. The first scene you saw me using the full part of the stone, but that meant I had to true the stone off. With this, if I'm using just the end, I only need to true the end that I'm working, and I've got two ends to continually go back and forth on. So this just makes it a little bit more efficient, and I'm really all about efficiency. And as you've seen throughout all of this, I've only been sharpening, or more accurately, polishing one side of the blade. Now let's talk about that for a moment, because I feel like talking about that, and since I'm making the video, I'm allowed to talk about that. I'm talking about polishing the blade. I'm not sharpening it, I'm polishing it. And a byproduct of polishing it is sharpening it, if you've done it properly. Now anyone can sharpen a blade. It takes you can do it with a file, and you're gonna get a really crappy sharpness out of the blade. It's gonna be jagged, where a polish gives a very smooth edge. Smooth is the word here. So one wants to polish the blade. That one would be me, as I'm the one making the video again. For all of you unaware, it's I that is making this video. Those are my arms going back and forth. So you don't want to polish too much of the blade at once. 3 to 6 inches is what I'm working with. You get more than that, you're going to have more teeter effect going on. Posture is of real importance here. You look at traditional sharpeners, and they'll be sitting, and they've got their poise right over the blade to give them accurate control. They also have the benefit of having that as their profession. Since this is not my profession, this is something I'm still studying, I need to have more of a portable sharpening kit. Okay, so you see that as you see my Hamen. Now on this blade, it's a true Hamen, and what I mean by true Hamen in this, okay, he hit the camera, because he's changing the camera, but for some reason I need to stab hit it first. A true Hamen, in this case, what I'm referring to is a Hamen that will stay once I've polished the blade. Many katana today, if you polish, you're going to lose your Hamen. It's just an etched picture. Yeah, really quite accurately, it's an etched picture on the blade to making it look like a Hamen. But if you polish it, you'll completely remove it. Since this is a true Hamen, or in my depiction of a true Hamen, it will stay. It is really nice. Nothing compares to a true Haman. Now this isn't that of an artistic Haman, but it is a Haman. I'm on a 1200 grit right now. Smooth back and forth. Okay, hope you enjoyed. That's pretty much it for me.